Alright, Hollywood, you gave us a movie with the co stars of Barbie and Oppenheimer starring together as leads in a movie. Now we got one demand for you. Make a movie with Cillian Murphy and Margot Robbie together as leads. How awesome would that be? I'm not the only one asking for it for sure. Hey guys, this is Frozen Things Studios here, and welcome back to another movie review. And today, I am going to be doing a review on The Fall Guy. So, The Fall Guy is the latest film directed by David Leitch, who is known for his for directing a bunch of action movies that fans love. His uncredited directorial debut with John Wick. And also he directed his solo directed films with Atomic Blonde, Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw, and The Bullet Train. Oh yeah, Deadpool 2 as well. And it stars Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Hannah Waddingham, Winston Duke, Stephanie Shu, Teresa Palmer, David Collins, etc. And so The Fall Guy tells the story of a stuntman named Cole Severs, played by Ryan Gosling, who gets into a freak accident while shooting a movie, and then it took 2 years, 1 or 2 years, to say, 1.5 years, technically, yeah, 1.5 years to years of retirement, due to is incident, and he is in hiding, and so yeah, and producer Gail Mayer, played by Hannah Weddingham, hires Cole Severs to return back into the world of doing stunts, and hoping to get back to his crush, director Jody Morano, played by Emily Blunt. He returns to filmmaking. He returns to doing stunts without Jody knowing, which kind of upsets her. And one day, Tom Ryder, Jody's star, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, goes missing. Colt is hired to find the missing star, but it's not just. As it turns out, it's not just about finding Tom Ryder, as there's a lot of conspiracies and a lot of murders with a lot of the production crew and people who are associated with Tom Ryder. So yeah, there's a lot more to that. And is he actually missing, or is there something behind this? I won't tell you. Not gonna spoil anything. So yeah, this is spoiler free. So yeah, The Fall Guy. I almost said Free Guy for some reason. So yeah. This was one of my most anticipated movies of 2024. Now, yes, I did not put this in my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2024 video. That's actually because I wasn't real. That's because I was thinking that, oh, this is gonna be like Bullet Train, because this is gonna be like another Bullet Train or something. Don't get me wrong, I was always excited for this film, but there were just other movies I was excited for, and I kind of was thinking, oh, maybe the critics will not like this film. Maybe they'll give it like a average rating, like kind of like Bullet Train. Well, hopefully fresh. So I wasn't really expecting much from it, even though of course I wouldn't agree with what the critics say. I mean, the critics say, yeah. I mean, I was always excited for this movie to begin with, and I kind of knew that this was going to be a step up from Bullet Train for in terms of David Leitch's career. Oh, don't get me wrong, I love Bullet Train. I'll talk about David Leitch in a bit, but I just want to point it out, and besides this being a David Leitch movie, the trailers have really been impressing me. The first trailer I enjoyed the first trailer, but the second trailer, one of the best trailers of the year in my opinion. Yeah, such a damn good trailer. Although, yeah, with the first trailer, I will say, when the first trailer came out, I only watched it once, but it took me a couple of months to go back and rewatch it. And while in the second trailer, yeah, I think that, yeah, the Fall Guy trailer 2 is one of my favorite trailers of the year, like what I said, and it is true. Now, yeah, David Leitch is a criminally underrated director. He's not one of the greatest directors. He's nowhere near my favorite directors of all time, but he's a director who I really admire, and I think he's he's great at making action, not only action thrillers but action comedies as well. Comedies as well. Yeah, as you all know, his first film was John Wick, which most people consider to be his best film. And I do think why I don't agree with John Wick being his best film. I think it is right up there. I love John Wick. It's sad to see that David Leitch was uncredited. I mean, I tend to always forget that David Leitch helped Chad Stahelski direct John Wick. And of course, those films that he directed. And of course, yeah, we got those other films that he directed. Atomic Blonde was decent, I guess, but it was decent, but it was just not great. I mean, yeah, I mean, it had one of the best action scenes of 2017, but I feel like it needed a little more action. It needed a little more action. It was kind of draggy at a lot of points, and the action and the plot twist at the end, it freaking sucks ass. The plot twist, Deadpool 2 is currently Deadpool 2 was initially my favorite. Well, Deadpool 2 is my favorite David Leitch movie. I love Deadpool 2 to death. I will review Deadpool 2 later on this year, leading up to Deadpool Wolverine. I can't wait to talk about that underrated film. Hobbs and Shaw was great, one of the better Fast and Furious movies, but one of David Leitch's weaker films. Bullet Train is I still love Bullet Train to this day. You already know my thoughts. Bullet Train is awesome, now we get this film right here, and yes, The Fall Guy is a movie with high praise. It is currently his highest rated film, his most well-received film. Yeah, people at the South by Southwest premiere absolutely adored this film, and I'm not sure. They didn't really compare this to David Leitch's other films, but they just said they love it, and that's all I need to hear for me to be hyped for this film. It was actually the reviews that got me even more hyped for this one. And after seeing The Fall Guy for myself, I gotta give this film one big thumbs up because this movie is freaking awesome. I had such a fun time with this movie. And it's not just a fun movie. Yeah, I know there are movies where I would just say I like it because it's fun, but this one, it's fun, but it's at the same time, it's more than just fun. Yeah. In the movie, you know how Colt Seavers, Ryan Gosling's character, would constantly be giving thumbs ups multiple times? Well, that's that's personally how I sum up this movie. Just take away the sarcasm on his face, though. If you watch the movie, you know what I mean. Yeah, this is so good, and yeah, I know it's just a second ago I said Deadpool 2 was is David Leitch's best movie. Well, now it's second because The Fall Guy is the greatest David Leitch movie, period. Yeah, no ifs and no buts. The Fall Guy is the peak of his career, and what about John Wick? Yeah, John Wick is amazing, but it ain't The Fall Guy. Fall Guy is leaps and bounds better. Yeah. This is only we're only at the first day of summer movie season. And we already start off with a banger here. And this is certainly one of my favorite movies of 2024 so far. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much I love about this movie, and then. As I was watching this movie, I really grew an obsession with this film. Yeah, this is a very obsessive movie, and I mean obsessive in a good way. So yeah, most of you guys will probably know that action is my favorite genre ever. Yeah, I know you may argue that some would say otherwise, like horror or drama, but to me, action is my genre. Action is why I go to the movies. Yeah, sure, I have, animated movies, fantasy movies, and drama movies in my list, and sci-fi movies, and all that stuff, but action is why I go to the movies. Most of the movies I see in theaters are action films, and as an action movie itself, what I love most about this film is that this is a love letter to action movies, and specifically the stuntmen who work hard to craft the action scene, to craft the perfect action scene. Yet, whether you love or hate an action movie, or maybe the genre in general, you gotta acknowledge the stuntmen. Yeah, they're as you know, Colt Seavers explained in the beginning montage of the movie. I mean, you just don't. The stuntmen's actually the one doing the action scenes. You just don't see it. They're just not seen, but they're the ones who like guide the actors into do the action scenes. They're the ones who ensures the action scenes are safe, or sometimes they're the ones who performs the action scenes. Just it's just not seeing the camera. Yeah, it sucks that stuntmen have been treated unfairly lately. I mean, they don't get enough recognition, and where the fuck when the fuck will the Oscars ever create a best stunt category? They definitely should do that because this movie. If there's one thing this movie truly impacted on me, it influenced me to create a best stunt category. And yes, guys, I will. And yes, guys, I will eventually make a best stunt category. It will start on my Frozen Awards 2012 next year. Yeah, I promise you, I will make a best stunts category because it sucks to see like the Oscars don't do this. But yeah, even though I haven't really finished my Frozen Awards 2024 yet, I don't really have a desire to do a best stunt category last minute. I only have worst picture, best director, best picture yet, and that's all I need. But yeah, I promise. So if I were to make a best stunts category, I would personally give it to Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. But yes, spoiler alert, this movie gets my award for best stunts so far in the Frozen Awards 2025. Yeah, so that's why I think where was I? And man, the entire movie was just a blast from start to finish. Getting bored in a scene would be an impossible task. Finding a flaw in a movie would be an impossible task to me as well. Yeah, it has everything. Yeah, remember in the Super Bowl TV spot where they said this movie has everything? Yes, the fuck it does have everything. It has action, comedy, drama, all perfectly combined in this. And man, the performances in this film, wow. I mean, Ryan Gosling has done it again. In fact, I'm actually considering putting Ryan Gosling as my favorite actor. Although it's between him or Leonardo DiCaprio, but I'm still thinking. And if you love his comedic roles, if you love the comedic side of him, like in The Nice Guys and Barbie especially, you'll love his role here because his performance in this movie is basically The Nice Guys and Barbie mashed into one. Yeah, and there's so much charm and charisma to his character, and yes, he gave such a great performance. One of my favorite male performances of the year so far, and Emily Blunt. Yeah. I know Emily Blunt is one of the biggest actresses in Hollywood right now. She has so much roles, but but yeah, this is gonna sound crazy. I know you guys are gonna think I'm crazy to say this, but Jodie Moreno is now my favorite Emily Blunt performance. Yeah, I know. Call me crazy. I know she has She has an Oscar nominated role with Kitty Oppenheimer and a lot of memorable roles. Yeah. I mean, Kitty Oppenheimer wasn't even my favorite. I never even said Kitty Oppenheimer is my favorite Emily Blunt performance. Plus, I honestly think that Kitty Oppenheimer is slightly overrated. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Kitty, and I would put her in my top 5 favorite Oppenheimer characters list. But I personally think that Florence Pugh should have been the Oscar nominated supporting actress from Oppenheimer for her role as Jean Tadlock than Emily Blunt as Kitty Oppenheimer, in my personal opinion. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put her above Colt. In fact, I think both Colt and Jodie are my favorite. How do I say this? They're both tied as my favorite characters in the film. Yeah, I absolutely love both of them. Yeah, they both give the chemistry of the year. Well, alongside Paul and Chani and Art, Patrick and Tashi, alongside them. Yeah, Yeah, but I absolutely love them. And also disappointing cast, great as well. Winston Duke is great. Aaron Terry Johnson, this might be my favorite performance from Aaron Terry Johnson. Honestly, yeah, yeah. And once again, this continues to show why he is the most improved actor. Not one of my favorite actors, but he is the most improved by giving a bland performances in both Godzilla and Age of Ultron. Now he's reached this level. This level, and yeah, this is Aaron Taylor Johnson's best performance yet. And also, I love seeing Stephanie Shu in this. In fact, yeah, Stephanie Shu was bad as well. She actually had an action scene. Stephanie Shu had a fight scene in this one, and she's just equally as badass as as Joy Wang slash Jobu Tupaki in Everything Ever All at Once. Yeah, Stephanie Shu was actually one of the main reasons, main things that Stephanie Shu is actually one of those actresses who I'd like to see wherever she goes because of how much I love her in Everything Ever All at Once. I think this might be her second best performance, second only to Joy Wang. And yeah, and Joy Wang. Okay, where was I? The action scenes are badass. They're a lot of fun. There's plenty of action. Yes, it does take a while to get to the action scenes, but trust me, like what I said earlier, getting bored in a scene in this movie, finding it slow, that's impossible. If you think that's boring, then you just hate fun, and then you just clearly hate fun. Yeah, the action scenes are badass. I absolutely love the stunts. Some of the greatest stunts you'll ever see in any film, period. Yeah, Ryan Gosling especially is a badass. And heck, there was girl power too, especially with Emily Blunt kicking ass. And yeah, they totally beat the shit out of the bad guys. And the comedy is hilarious. I mean, there were a lot of jokes in this film where I was, laughing my ass out. And my whole audience. Oh, by the way, this is the most packed theater I've been to in 2024 so far. No joke. My whole audience was laughing at the jokes here. And there were surprisingly some heartfelt and emotional scenes that made me shed a tear as well. One scene in particular with a certain conversation between Colt and Jodie where Colt was put in a bad situation and Jodie felt worried. And then Colt said this made a very heartfelt confession to Jodie about how much he loves her, and it just really shed a tear to my eye. Really, and the story is far tighter than what the trailer made you think. The trailer made the movie. The trailer made it seem like the story. Oh, it's just about Colt Seavers trying to find the missing star in action all the way. Oh no, it's more than that. It's actually a meta commentary on the toxicity between the behind the scenes shit during production in Hollywood. Yeah, you're gonna see there's a lot of times when certain people behind the scenes, certain people who are involved with the production of a movie would do bad stuff that may cause the movie controversy, and Colt Seavers Colt Seavers gets framed. Yeah, that's a major plot point, and it's not even a spoiler. It's really something you'd actually see coming. Yeah. And there is so much plot twist that you're not gonna see coming. Yeah. I mean, not so much, not like Argyle, but it is great plot twist that I did not see coming. Yeah, sure, I will admit, I guessed the twist villain right, correct, but I think they executed it in a way that made it feel not as predictable as this. I just guessed it right. I'm just lucky, but it's not predictable. It isn't. I'm sure there will be people who wouldn't see the villain coming, who wouldn't see the twist coming. And also specifically, this is also a great commentary on how your studios, Hollywood studios and producers would meddle and interfere with the creators, the director's creative vision, and how they'll be like, hey, this is my movie. This is not your movie. You're just working for me, director. Yeah, it's basically something like that. Heck, there's a lot of fourth wall breaking too. There's some fourth wall breaking too, and they do it really well. really well. And yeah, the villain is much better than I thought. One of the things I was concerned about at first is that this movie was going to have a villain who just comes out of nowhere. The villain just a some random guy with no meaning to it, like, oh, this guy kidnapped Tom Rider and blah blah blah. But actually, it's a villain who I actually care about, I will say, and who's actually memorable. Yeah, I'm totally gonna remember the villain in this film. And I will say though, the only reason why I guessed it is because the villain was the character who ended up being the twist villain was already unlikable to begin with, and her character was really made to be unlikable. Again, no spoilers. Don't worry. Don't worry. Oh, and also, don't get me started on that actor cameo at the end. Yeah, I mean, I was like, I was I was actually laughing. I won't say who it is, but I will say I really like that actor cameo at the end, and even as a cameo, he did a lot. He performed way better in this movie than the previous movie he starred in. Which yeah, that's one hint I will say about this actor. The previous movie he starred in sucked, but this movie is a lot better, way better, even with that 2 second cameo. Yeah. And I cannot share my thoughts on this film without mentioning my favorite part of this entire movie, and that is the All Too Well by Taylor Swift scene. Yeah. Basically, in that one scene, Colt Seavers was listening to All Too Well by Taylor Swift at the radio, and while listening to it, he was like literally tearing up while thinking about all the romantic times he had spending time with Jodie. And then Jodie was like knocking at the door. Hey, what are you doing? Just sitting here. Are you crying to Taylor Swift's song? Yeah, that was hilarious. And yeah, you can clearly tell that Colt Seavers is a Swiftie like me. Yeah, I'm a massive Swiftie. In fact, Taylor Swift, on reflection, is my favorite singer of all time. And All Too Well is my favorite Taylor Swift song, period. One of my absolute favorite songs of all time, period. Yeah. I'm sure you guys remember my review on the All Too Well short film with Sadie Sink in it. Yeah, I love that review. And also, you know how I'm sure everyone remembers Ryan Gosling singing I'm just Ken and Barbie. I'm just Ken. Yeah, who the hell does not remember that? Who on earth? Yeah, doesn't remember that? Yeah. If you love that, well, guess what? Ryan Gosling sang again in this movie, but it was not All Too Well. It was Take a look at me now. Yeah, by Phil Collins. Yeah, that absolute classic song. Although it was mainly Emily Blunt's character, Jodie Moreno, who sang it. The gorgeous voice, by the way. But then you hear a background voiceover of Ryan Gosling also singing with Emily Blunt. Take a look at me now. Yeah, Ryan Gosling was also singing it, but just not physically. Yeah, and man, like Ryan Gosling should star in a full-on musical. Yeah, Disney, please hire Ryan Gosling to be in one of your musical animated movies. He would more than deserve it. Yeah. Yeah. So overall, The Fall Guy is a movie that made me extremely happy. This is probably the happiest movie of the year so far for me. This movie is just a ton of fun, and it's an absolute love letter to action movie fans like me. And this is without question the best David Lynch movie. So now, yeah, I think you guys already guessed that this wouldn't top Dune Part 2 or Challengers, but let's be real here. I knew that this was not going to top Dune Part 2 as my favorite movie of the year, nor Challengers as my second favorite movie of the year. Movie of the year. With that year, but this would be but The Fall Guy is my third favorite movie of 2024. And yes, guys, I definitely think you guys should go check out this movie. It's worth it. If you love action movies in general, if you love Ryan Gosling's comedic performance, especially particularly in Barbie, and if you're a huge Emily Blunt fan, and if you just want to see a fun movie, then I definitely recommend checking this one out. So with that said, I'm going to give The Fall Guy 5 stars out of 5. Best David Leitch movie ever. So yeah, that's all for my review on The Fall Guy. Yeah, I had no flaws with this movie. So yeah, that's all. Have you seen The Fall Guy? If you haven't yet, did my review convince you to check this out? And what is your favorite David Leitch movie? Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for a bunch of multiple movie reviews. Like I'm sure you know how that goes if you've seen those types of videos I do. Stay tuned for a bunch of a video relating to TV shows, and stay tuned for a bunch for SpongeBob content for SpongeBob's 25th anniversary. Bye, guys.